Boys, it's that time of the year again. The Premier League's in full swing. We got the FA Cup going, and the Champions League came back today. A lot of really good games. Did you guys see that Ronaldo goal today? Yo, he just got a foot of space and just crushed it. It was such a nice goal. What?
Bro.
What?
That wasn't in the Champions League.
But it's the Champions League today.
Yeah. United wasn't playing today.
What?
No, they played in the Premier League. He imagined it.
Oh, man.
This is Red Card Radio.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're tuning in. Thanks for listening. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League and some more from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James, sporting this super awesome retro Arsenal jersey. I support Arsenal. With me tonight is Brad. He supports Chelsea. And down below, that's Sean. He is back to being melancholy because he supports Tottenham Hotspurs. Gentlemen, how are we doing, Sean? I promise, because we are friends, that I will not harp on how poor Tottenham has been recently. I know that you're feeling down about that, so I'm not going to pile on.
I'm not feeling down about it. I'm feeling up. I'm flaming everybody on Twitter with Tottenham optimism. If you got Tottenham optimism, I'm flaming it.
Don't worry. We're here. I'm here to bury him. Don't worry. I got you. And
you can't bury somebody that's already buried.
I'm gonna unbury you to then rebury you.
My last name has a berry in it.
Hey, do you need the box?
It's true.
Hey, I think James, do you have a box Sean can borrow?
A box that the classic James gets mad and packs up all 30 of his Arsenal jerseys into a box.
Yeah,
the box you're talking about.
Box.
I could probably send Sean a box.
Hey, and last time we spoke, we were not champions of the world. Chelsea with another trophy. It's just what we do. Roman has now won every single trophy available. And so is Aspie. Aspiqueta.
Aspiqueta?
Dave.
Aspilicueta.
Yeah, there's
Dave.
I think he forgot some sounds in the name.
His name is Dave.
I'm very happy for you that number one,
Here we go.
You beat up on South American plumbers. The Union 945 down in Patagonia. I'm sure they had a really great team and a good year for them. They made it to the final. I'm glad that you beat up on plumbers, though.
Yo.
Sean, you can't even get into Europe right now, bro. Like, I don't know why you're trying to argue about the rest of the world.
You think
Like, I don't think
Palmeiras is making it into Europe? You drop
Yes.
Palmeiras into. Well, I was going to say Liga On, but they're definitely making it Liga On.
Drop them into the Premier League. They're doing well, I think.
No,
Yes.
Bro,
Yes.
I think
way.
I will give you the Asian teams and probably the Middle Eastern teams because they don't have the same money as European teams, but South American teams are good.
Yeah, I think you're sleeping. I think you're sleeping on the
It's a
South American
Brazilian
teams.
team, bro. Is Brazil not like the
I
greatest,
said
one of the
Patagonia,
greatest
that-
countries?
I said Patagonia, then Brazil. Yeah, that's in Argentina. Well, they're definitely not. What River? No.
Argentina isn't one of the best teams, one of the best soccer countries in the world. Like, I don't think you're thinking this through. But listen, I appreciate you appreciating that Chelsea have now a full trophy case. Maybe we can loan you one.
I will argue.
Audi Cup's right next to it.
Do you want to put a Carabao Cup in your trophy cabinet? Like, we can ship one over.
Yo, I will argue that the Champions League, the Champions League is a more impressive feat than the Club World Cup. But clearly, clearly, to be the European team in the Club World Cup means that you won the Champions League, or does it mean you won the Super Cup?
It means you won the Champions League.
Yeah.
That's what.
Well, we won the Super Cup too, though.
I know you don't.
One of you guys proposed to me in the text chain about could Tottenham win the Club World Championship or whatever, and I was like, well, no, clearly,
Yeah.
because that insinuates we won the Champions League.
I don't think you guys.
No.
I don't think you make it out of the. I don't think you make it out of the semifinals.
I mean, Tottenham probably beat Al Haddad, or whatever, however you pronounce it. Whatever.
Yeah,
okay, I'm sure. I would imagine that Tottenham are beating the winner of the Asian Champions League.
I was just trolling them, but they did against Al Hilal. They played their first team. They won
We played our first
1-0.
team for both. Yeah, we played our first team for both. Like, there were two
That was
tough
the first
games.
team. That was the first team. Maybe Tottenham, especially in this current run of form, probably not winning that one.
Well, I mean, yeah, Spurs are.
We're going to get into the dumpster fire that is.
Yeah, we'll chat about Spurs in a minute because
I guess you could say we'll light up the middle of our podcast. Hang tight for 35 minutes from now.
Yeah. So if you're new here, this is kind of what you can expect from the three of us, just a couple of American idiots talking about European football. But if you're new here, we would really appreciate it if you could hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell notifier if you're on YouTube, if you're on a podcast app. Definitely subscribe and hit us with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts if that's how you're listening to us. It really helps us out quite a lot, reach new people, and bring in a bigger audience. This is a growing podcast, something that we really enjoy and have enjoyed doing for the last year. And anything you can do to help us do that, we would really appreciate it. Leave us a comment. We always talk about comments, but we'll get to here in a minute. And so we love talking about your comments and seeing what you guys are thinking about the podcast. So definitely interact with us. We do something here on Red Card Radio where you wouldn't want to be mildly inconvenienced, right, Sean?
Yeah, no, you don't want to be mildly inconvenienced, so you're going to want to like, subscribe, rate, and review, 5-star, all of that good stuff.
Indeed.
Because if you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to be a citizen of southern Brazil and have a leaky faucet and a bad toilet at the same time.
Okay.
Call a local plumber, and he's not going to be able to get to you for 2 to 3 days because he's competing in the Champions World whatever. Whatever. He's losing to Chelsea. So he can't get to you for 2 to 3 days because he's got to lose to Chelsea first because he has a day job, and that's the only plumber around in southern Brazil.
Yo, Sean.
So he plays for Tottenham?
Sean is doubling down on this tin pot trophy. I'm impressed, but go on, King. Because yeah, well, we'll anyway. Yeah, so please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave us a 5-star.
Brad, I'm just really happy that you beat McCrary FC on your way to whatever trophy you got.
Don't disparage McCrary FC. That's the real deal.
For those at home who are not college compadres, that was our intramural team while we were all in college. We all went to college again.
Time out. Neither one of us were on the squad, Sean.
That was my team. Me and Tamzid. Yeah. That was our team.
I played with you on. It was the staff.
Indoor.
It was staph infection.
You play. Okay, this is gonna sound bad, but you played with the Africans, didn't you, for one season? And
they called it fresh off the boat, and I was like, "Well, wait a minute,
not our name.
I'm white though."
Yeah.
Well, I was like, "Wait a minute, I'm the only white guy on the team," and they were like, "Yeah, we'll just say you're from England."
Yeah.
Everybody else, it was all African. yes.
Yeah.
So I was the keeper for the entire African team.
Yeah. So don't. McCrary FC was not us. It was.
By the way, Jimmy, I was the keeper for the African team.
Did you ever win?
Yeah, I have 2 indoor and 1 outdoor trophy or shirt.
You won You won outdoor?
Yes.
With staph infection?
No, I won with it was Will Sperr, Charles Dupard, Scott Downey, the Vietnamese kid.
Nam.
Yeah.
Okay, that must have been before I got to school.
Yusuf Dullah.
Yeah, that was before I got to school. Because I'm the young one. I'm the young one in this crew.
I
won outdoor. We beat Kappa Sig. That was before Brad joined.
Okay.
So yeah, probably was.
That was before. Yeah, that was before I was at school. Because when I got there, staph infection was just ran outdoor.
Then staph infection picked me up.
But yeah, okay. So
I always get a front handspring into goal. By the way.
What we've got on board tonight, we're going to talk about some comments. Then we're going to look at the Premier League and the Champions League, and then we got some that we talked about today that we're gonna preview for you guys. We're going to talk about the English Championship promotion race because that will have implications on who's in the Premier League for next season. Sean's going to break that down for us before we look at the Premier League in match week 26 and preview any upcoming Champions League games we have. So, without further ado. Let's jump into these comments. last week was the Everton Newcastle game. We talked about it on the podcast, and Joel wants an apology, Sean and Brad. He wants you guys to give some credit where it's due. He said Newcastle were brilliant all game, better than Everton in every department. Dele looked out of his depth again. Van de Beek looked very comfortable, and he thought, but Newcastle's midfield were better in all areas. Shelvey was brilliant, has been brilliant since Howe came in, and a midfield three of Guimaraes, Shelvey, and Joelinton can bully most teams outside the top six. So give some credit where it's due. What?
I mean, look, after Everton had to sub off 2 injured players, like, yeah, of course Newcastle looked better in every department. Like, yeah, I agree. Yes, they did. After the substitutions, and of course Dele looked out of his depth. Hey, Sean, how many minutes has Dele played like this season?
4.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Before he played like over half a game because of an injury.
No, what I said, he said he looks out of his depth. I'll take a little. Of course, I'm going to defend Dele, but I'll take a little offense with that.
I don't know why.
What I said about Dele was, yeah, he made a handful of mistakes. Yes, it was not a good game for him, but most of his bad mistakes, quote unquote, the things that looked the worst, his worst passes and his worst plays, were because the striker, Richarlison, was not paying attention to the passes, or he wasn't ready for it. They just don't have the chemistry. So there was a handful of through balls where Richarlison just didn't see or make the run in time. So it looked like a really poor play. But aside from that, it's hard to defend that because he played so awfully outside of those brilliant plays that Richarlison wasn't on the end of. So it made the game look really bad.
Yeah.
Okay. And Joel, you hate Joelinton. Like, I've watched a game with you, and all you do is yell about Joelinton. So don't say he's part of the best midfield three outside the top 6. Like, come on now.
This is the inside track.
Yeah.
Josh,
Also, I will say that Guimaraes had a great game, by the way.
he'll be good for them.
Of course he did. He'd be awesome. For them.
I thought that looked great. I think that's going to work really well.
So Joshua did comment on this train of thought as well. He said, what a game, or should I say lack of game from the Blues. I wish I could be disappointed, but I'm frankly used to the results like this as times have been rough for the Toffees. He goes on to give credit to Newcastle and thinks that Dominic Calvert-Lewin was an unused sub due to the 2 first half injuries. That was the question that I had asked. He thinks that DCL is very dynamic and can score goals for Everton and has been and that's a place where they've been underperforming. Now, Joshua, I did respond to your comment, and I'm wondering whether or not you think that Dominic Calvert-Lewin will. Do you think Everton would sell him to Arsenal or a domestic team? Do you think that? How would you feel about that? And do you think that he is the type of center forward or striker that can help a team challenge in the Premier League and challenge in the Champions League? And as a caveat, I'm not saying that's where Arsenal are right now, but that is clearly their aspiration. That's their aspiration. So is Dominic Calvert-Lewin the type of player that could do that for them?
Only question before we leave that,
yeah.
and I don't know if you want to respond or if you want to soak it in and have it in the comments and talk about it next week. But the way Everton have pursued, paid for, and are paying players, do you honestly think that you are that much higher than Everton? Not in terms of prestige, because clearly you are, of what they can pay, what you can pay for him, what you can pay him weekly wages, that it's something that he actively wants to be at Arsenal as opposed to Everton.
Certainly that's a question.
This year aside.
Yeah,
year aside.
Certainly that's a question that would need to be answered. Whether or not he's willing to go to a team whether or not he sees Arsenal as a step up over Everton.
As a step up.
Yeah. I won't address whether or not he thinks that. I clearly think that is. I think that we can be competitive. I mean, Everton are spending a lot of money, but do they have an identity with how they're spending money? I would argue that Arsenal have also been having that issue over the last 3 years where they're just kind of splashing a lot of money. and not necessarily having a good thought process behind it, perhaps. But I think that you can see in the last summer transfer window and the January transfer window this year that I think has changed in terms of Arsenal's ethos in terms of how they recruit players. I've never been personally sold on him as a center forward in the Premier League. So I don't think I'm going to necessarily be cut up if he decides not to come to Arsenal. But he's on the list.
The only reason I proposed it that way is this year's side. Clearly, this year, yes, he would like right now, he would love to be on Arsenal versus Everton. And granted, he's fit too.
Yeah.
But he would prefer to be on Arsenal battling fourth than he would to be battling relegation right now.
Certainly.
So this year's side. But if you take the last 3 years, Everton and Arsenal have roughly finished around each other.
Yeah.
They roughly pay the same amount, roughly. And they roughly pay the same amount for transfers, so they're not.
But I think
diabolically different.
I think
you're comparing 3 or 4 years.
I'll let you jump in here in a second, Brad. But I think you're comparing three of Arsenal's worst seasons with some of Everton's better seasons of recent memory. So,
and that's a fair point.
Brad,
So,
what were you gonna say?
How long has Arteta been there?
This is
1.5,
going on.
2.
He came in midway through, right before the COVID break. So this is his second full season in charge.
Okay. Because I was like, when you said 3 or 6 transfer windows, there hasn't been a clear vision. I was like, wait a second. I thought he was there for 5 of them. So that's why I was like, I'm not jiving here.
I could dive into this pretty heavily. I won't, but I think Edu is mostly handling the transfers right now. He's only been handling the transfers, I think, for 3 windows at this point. We had a big issue with a previous.
Those have been your best 3.
Yeah, we had a big issue recently. We've had issues clearly with retaining players and putting them on huge wages, and also look at the Pepe transfer, the Willian transfer. Those were obviously bad transfers for Arsenal. So. I could dig into this if we wanted to, but I don't think now's the time. But the culture shifting is all I'm saying.
Okay, and secondly, with Everton, they're willing to back their manager. The problem is Ancelotti is a completely different manager than Rafa. Rafa's a completely different manager than Frank. So I agree with you. There has been but they're still backing the manager, which is good. So I mean, if Frank is there a couple of seasons, I think it turns around.
And to your point, Ancelotti was only there for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so Ancelotti's a different manager than the one before, who I'm misplaced. Moyes. It was Moyes, right?
No, it wasn't Moyes.
No. Moyes has been there for a while.
I forget who it was.
There before?
I don't remember.
But yeah, it doesn't matter. But that's 4 different managers in basically 3.5, 4 years. Yeah, of course Everton's signings haven't panned out. They're not working and the players aren't working together because it's 4 different philosophies in 4 years.
Would you guys say that you think Arsenal are trending up or trending down or staying
trending up? Oh, absolutely.
Would you agree, Brad?
What, Everton trending
Arsenal.
up? Arsenal? Sure.
No, I want your honest
opinion. No.
I mean, yes, probably. You guys have a young, dynamic team that have been performing, so yes.
Okay, I hate Arsenal. It's trending up. That's why I'm paying attention to it.
My point is going to be that Arsenal have stuck with Arteta probably in situations where most teams in the top 6 wouldn't have. So I think that's what Everton's going to have to do with Frank. He's a young, promising manager by all accounts. And I think if they want to start having success, they will have to commit to him. And it's going to get ugly at certain points. Arsenal went on a disgusting 20-game streak last year. So they're going to have to stick with him, in my opinion. So that's the only point that I'm trying to bring up.
Yeah, I'm all in on Frank.
I know you are.
Let's go. I need Everton to stay up.
Joel did have another comment. Brad, Man United did win in 2008. So Chelsea's the only English team to have not won the Club World Cup. And hold on, as a caveat before you speak, he made that comment before the final. I wanted to bring it up because I thought it was salient at the time, but clearly that's wrong. We've established that Chelsea have now won. So you don't have to go in. Don't go in on our listeners, Brad.
Champions of the world.
Okay, we are gonna get copyright struck for that.
It's less than 10 seconds. We're good. It's less than 3 seconds. We're good.
Brad, if this podcast gets pulled down,
the champion.
Yo, both y'all stop. We are not trying to get the copyright people.
Less than 10 seconds. Less than 10 seconds.
Nah, I'm not trying to have. You guys don't get. Nah, I'm gonna have to deal with it. I'm gonna have to deal with YouTube.
I was so off key. It doesn't even matter anyway. They're not even gonna pick it up.
Hey, we're gonna make you edit this podcast. That's the whole point of it.
Nope, not doing it. All right, moving on. We're moving on. Jimmy has some comments for you, Sean.
Yeah.
So I could almost be willing to intentionally miss all 5 penalties wide just for Sean to go on a very public rant about how he is now a top goalkeeper in the world.
Yes. Yeah. I'm the next Donnarumma.
This guy. This guy.
The Italian hate is real.
Whatever. Tall guy, Italian. Whatever.
This guy.
Some trash can walking around streets of Paris. You'll see him as a tall guy. French people are short, so you'll notice him.
Will had a comment about today's Champions League match in the PSG Madrid game. He said, shameful cowardice by VAR today, refusing to send off Casemiro after he put hands on Paredes' throat. So this has happened about 33-ish minutes into the game, and Casemiro fouled Paredes, and then Paredes got up and they went at each other, and Casemiro grabs his throat. Can't do that.
No.
Should be a red card.
Yeah.
I mean,
where's the ref? I would say I appreciate him calling out the VAR, but he also should be in there. Where's the ref? The ref's not there. Looking at this,
the ref probably saw it. In my opinion, he probably saw it.
Exactly. Like the ref had to be there.
Yeah. So it was weird.
But both. Because if the ref happened to not see it because people are shuffling in front of him, then that's one thing. But VAR's got to have his back. VAR, this dude grabbed a dude's throat. Got to be out of here.
Should be.
They just wanted this to be the good game that it really was. That's why.
But that's terrible. That's annoying. And I'm going to
bring up. It doesn't have to be a good game.
Yeah, I'm going to bring that why that's annoying when we talk about Arsenal a little bit. Those were our comments for this week. We really appreciate you guys giving us those comments. It really helps us out, and we love talking about those things. But we're going to move on. We're going to talk about the Premier League. And before I do that, I'm going to bring up the Premier League table so we can all have a good chat about it, see what's going on in the league.
Bathroom while y'all talking about that.
Oh, he's going to the bathroom. He don't even care. All right, so
the table.
He's so mad.
Unsurprising about the Tottenham fan. All right. So in first position, we've got Manchester City. He's on 6. They're on 63 points. Second position is Liverpool on 54 points. Chelsea are in third on 47. United are up to fourth after today's match on 43 points. In fifth is West Ham on 41, and in sixth is Arsenal on 39 points. Wolves are in seventh on 37 points. Now Arsenal have 3 games in hand on Manchester United, and if they win all 3 of those games in hand, they will be 2 points behind Chelsea, assuming Chelsea also win their game in hand on City. So Arsenal have control over the 4th position if they win their games.
One of those, the game in hand that Chelsea has is against Arsenal.
Oh, so Chelsea, if they don't win that, Arsenal will be above them. Interesting. Okay, in 8th, we have Tottenham Hotspurs. 9th is Brighton and Hove Albion. In 10th is Southampton. Starting the second half of the table, Leicester are in 11th. Villa are in 12th. Palace are in 13th. Brentford are in 14th. Leeds United in 15th. Everton are in 16th. Newcastle United out of the relegation zone in 17th. They've won 3 games on the bounce. So they're the way they're playing, they're probably safe. They have 4 points. They're up 4 points on Norwich City, who are in 18th. Norwich are in 18th on 17 points. Watford are in 19th on 15 points. And Burnley are languishing at the bottom on 14 points. Burnley, in theory, can catch Newcastle. Watford cannot. And Norwich cannot because they've played more games than Newcastle. So things looking good up in Newcastle for Joel.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just because, but Trippier's injury I think is going to hurt them much more.
I would agree with you.
These next couple of games, Trippier is like their best signing.
It'll be really interesting. It'll be really interesting to see how this relegation battle pans out, because to me it kind of seems like we have a little bit of clarity at this point with the way that Newcastle are playing. The way I read this, I think it looks like to me Norwich, Watford, and Burnley are all going to go down. I don't see Everton slipping into that. I don't see Newcastle falling back down there. So
what three did you say?
Norwich,
Burnley, Watford, Norwich.
Yeah, the three that are down there now.
Are those the three I have?
Oh, Sean's got the sheets of integrity.
Wow, well, only one of us was wrong.
And it was me.
Brighton.
Yeah. I think I was the only one that picked Brighton.
Yeah, he's the only one that has a top half team.
Okay, in my defense,
3 points off Spurs.
I don't have a defense.
And a better goal differential than Spurs.
All right.
Spurs are the only team in the top half with a negative differential, by the way.
No, Southampton.
That's the top half.
They're 10th.
Let me set up what's happened. Let me set up the football. So we when we recorded last week, that was on Tuesday. So the Wednesday games, we had City beat Brentford 2-0. Norwich and Palace played to a 1-1 draw. Spurs were hosting Southampton. Southampton win that game 3-2. Southampton win that game 3-2. Villa and Leeds play to a 3-3 draw on Thursday last. Liverpool and Leicester. Liverpool beat Leicester 2-0. And Arsenal are away to Wolves. The 10 men of Arsenal hold on to beat Wolves 1-0. This weekend, so match week 25, United hosting Southampton, 1-1 draw. Brentford and Palace play to a 0-0 draw. In James's pick of the week, we had bottom half of the table battle between Everton and Leeds. And loyal listeners, I have to admit something. I have to ask for your forgiveness again, because I did not watch this match. I don't know what I was doing. I think I had taken my son to soccer. So I apologize, listeners, and I beg for your forgiveness, and I ask that you give me another chance. I ask that you give me another chance for James's pick of the week in match week 26. That's all I can do. But in that match, Everton beat Leeds 3-0. Moving on, Watford and Brighton. Brighton beat Watford 2-0. Manchester City away to Norwich. Manchester City win that game 4-0. On Sunday, Burnley hosting Liverpool. Liverpool win 1-0. Newcastle beat Villa 1-0. Spurs hosting Wolves. Wolves win that game 2-0.
Yes, we were.
Leicester hosting.
We hosted them.
Leicester hosting West Ham United. Leicester win that game 1-0. And today.
You mean West Ham?
Yes.
West Ham won that game.
West Ham won that game. That's true, Brad. I misspoke. West Ham win that game 1-0. And then today, United hosting Brighton. United win that game 2-0. And that's what catapulted them up into fourth position. So those were all the games that have been played in the Premier League since last episode. And if
all the games that matter.
For
some of us,
if you guys caught on to what I was saying, Tottenham did not have a good week. Tottenham did not have a good week. That Southampton.
You said that. Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, I did say that. So that let's start with that Spurs Southampton game, because
what's there to start with?
That was a good game.
Ward Prowse ate them alive.
The whole team ate them alive. The left side ate them. The left side of their attack. Our side.
Ward Prowse put in both of those crosses.
My takeaway from that game. Did you guys?
It was the right side. Yeah, it was our right side. The crosses
came through. The cross came through from the left side, from your left side of your defense to your right side, where Emerson was nowhere to be seen and Sanchez was in La La Land.
So I saw a still frame of the last two Southampton goals in free play, and the two goals from Wolves both came from free play. All four were put in from roughly the same part of the pitch.
Interesting. So that's
All
just
forward crosses.
just a weakness.
Yep, which is not addressed. Conte, like I'm not blaming Conte. This is not Conte's fault, but at some point, like a manager's got to realize, or somebody on the bench has got to be like, all right, maybe we should make some type of adjustment in some way. And unless they are, and the players aren't responding, I don't know what that disconnect is. Because I would expect Conte would pick up on that, because that would have been first half. That would have been a halftime. Yeah, that would have been before halftime. We were.
Both goals. It was 2-1 at halftime, or 1-1 at halftime, and you guys made it 2-1.
Yeah, so it was
45 minutes.
Three halves of football that the four goals were scored basically the same way.
Hey, maybe your players just aren't good enough.
They're not good enough. I've been saying that all year. I said that in August.
I think that's what Conte's been saying. But hey, listen. So this is your third loss in a row, correct, in the league?
Well, yeah, technically, I don't count Chelsea.
So it hasn't happened to Conte since he was coaching at Atalanta in Serie B.
Yeah.
And just for perspective, for perspective, I pulled the table from this year. The year was 2009. Manchester United won the Premier League, and 11 of the 20 clubs are now not in the Premier League.
Interesting.
Most of them are in League One. There's
Wow.
a few championship clubs here. Most of them are in League One now.
Wow. So 2009,
Yes.
the teams that are the teams that still remain are City, City, United, Liverpool, Everton, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, were Leicester up then? Leicester weren't up then.
No.
West Ham.
Yep.
West Ham, Villa.
That's number 9. Yeah.
Villa went down in the
But
interim.
Villa went down and came back.
But they're in the league now.
Yeah.
Villa went down and came back.
You know what's
Interesting.
really funny? Hey James, do you
What's
have
up?
that table scene? You have the scene for the table.
I do.
What position is Tottenham in right now?
Do you want me to pull it back up? Is that what you're asking me
It's
for?
eight. It's
Yeah.
eight. It's eight. It's eight.
Yeah, if I'm looking at they're in 8th.
They're in 8th. Okay. They also finished 8th 13 years ago.
Is it written in the stars, Brad? Are you going to say it?
It is written in the stars. Tottenham is
guy.
not getting European football.
This guy. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. With the run of form they're on. So we have this interaction in our Discord. If you guys haven't joined our Discord, check out in the show notes. We have it listed in our Discord. But Joel and Sean and I were talking about this in our Discord about how Sean has written Spurs off. But if you look at the table, Spurs are only out of 4th position. They are only 7 points off of United in 4th position. They have 3 games in hand on Manchester United. So I don't think that Spurs are dead. They're certainly not dead for Europa League spots. And so I know that you are this. So this is the same question that I asked you before the Nuno sacking. Is they were not far off of the Champions League spots at that point. I think they were 3 points off the Champions League spots. And you were like, yeah, but we're playing like crap. And so that's when you when Nuno got fired, you guys weren't very far off of Europe. You bring Conte in. He had a new manager bounce, didn't lose in 9 games, and then now has gone on a run of form that he hasn't been on in 12 years as a manager. So, I mean, I think we all understood that Spurs have deficiencies this year. There's issues in the squad. I wonder if yes, I think your defense is poor, but is Harry Kane not contributing enough? Is Son not contributing enough? I wonder if more your issues are you're not scoring enough goals as compared to your defense is letting in too many. Clearly, your defense is letting in too many goals. That's an issue. But regardless, you guys aren't that far off, and you're in the thick of it.
What I don't know enough to say, and maybe Will or Joel or Tamzeen could comment on would be what our son and Kane not playing well enough. I don't know the technical reasons why they're not scoring goals because Kane on the run of good form scored basically enough to almost get back in the picture. He's not catching a lot, but like get back in the picture of Golden Boot. He scored like 7 goals in like 5 games or 6 games or something like that. So he's scoring goals, and Son's in third in the Golden Boot.
Okay.
So they're producing, but is Conte's vision of how the team it comes out of the back, right?
Yeah.
And that's how you attack. Is our back line just so poor that it's affecting our offense now because they can't distribute accurately and efficiently and on time? That's a tactical thing that I don't have the knowledge of knowing this type of formation well enough to know, is it the back affecting the front? And then they're clearly poor. Like attacking the defense is like beating a dead horse at this point. Dyer is sorely missed, which those of you who listen to the podcast all the time know that I just close my eyes because it hurts me to say. But having Dyer out is hurting really bad right now.
I've heard the Spurs players want Rodon in instead of Romero in the middle. I think that makes sense. Get Sanchez out of there. And here's the interesting thing, right? Doherty's playing one of your wing spots, right?
Just put Sanchez on one of the sides.
I don't know. Right. It depends on how they play, right? Like,
yeah, it should be.
Rudiger's a left center back.
Well, hold on. I think the center back in Conte's system is a distributing center back. Is a ball controlled passing center back. You think of like
Dyer
more than Romero.
Barzagli for Juve many years ago. That's probably the best I know of Conte's system. Yeah, Luis for Chelsea.
And Christensen to an extent.
So like that's the central center back is a very important player for Conte.
It's basically a center defensive mid that sucked back and can be a center back. And that is Dyer.
It's a ball passing center back, yeah.
But is it not vocal? Is that not the leader?
It should.
The center guy.
I mean, in theory, I mean, like it can be, but like you would imagine that like your goalkeepers and your center backs are barking at everyone.
You have Hugo back there, which should be fine. Here's a funny thing though: Doherty was sold by Nuno to Tottenham in 2020 because he was too slow and couldn't defend well on the flanks. To Nuno come in here and have to play him, and now Conte has to play him. So I don't think, and Emerson is awesome going forward. He's very raw on defense and hasn't figured out the spacing. And him and Sanchez's communication is absolutely terrible.
This is this is another situation where I wonder if Daniel Levy is gonna have the stomach to stick with Conte long enough to get enough players to fit his system. Yeah, I think so.
I don't think it's going to be. Does Conte have the stomach to sit around long enough?
That would be the question.
Well, would be the question. The question is going to be: is Levy willing to spend the way Conte is asking him to in the summer? Like, so Conte and Paratici are going to come to Daniel Levy and be like, "This is our vision. This is what we see for the football club. These are the players we want to attract. We have the money. We can go get them." Like, blah 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 blah. Is Daniel Levy going to greenlight? Is he going to give them the autonomy to do that? I wonder. And clearly that's going to influence, like, so clearly I think this summer is going to be really pivotal for Spurs. If Spurs invest in Conte's vision, then I can see, why would Conte leave? I think it would be a feather in his cap if in a couple years he could say, I want a Premier League with Tottenham. I'm not saying that they will, but I think that would be good for his ego and for his managerial CV.
Conte doesn't seem like the type of person, just like Mourinho, to hide anything.
Agreed.
And he doesn't seem displeased with the January transfer. He's still saying the same things he said in December. We are not there yet. We're getting there. The players are trying hard. Everyone's doing. I see great potential in this player and this player. Like, he's still complimenting. And so what that makes me think subliminally is that him and Levy came to an agreement of, hey, I'll get you Bentancur. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that close to correct.
It's close. Bentancur,
yeah.
Kulusevski.
Kulusevski. Thanks for pronouncing that one right. I'll get you those because that'll help you now. And hopefully that keeps us in contention for Europe. But I'll help you out more in the summer. And Conte was happy with that.
I think you're probably right. I mean, Arsenal saw how difficult this January transfer window was. We didn't sign anyone, we desperately wanted to sign players. So this was a difficult window for everyone. So I don't think Conte can feel aggrieved over this transfer window.
He doesn't seem like it. He's not acting like it.
And I think we'll see how. I think this summer is going to be really pivotal for the relationship between Conte and Levy. Because this is the best manager you guys have had since Pochettino. Might be better than Pochettino. You can make an argument. I'm not here to rate the managers, but
the only way I would put Pochettino up there is that what he did with our club is nothing short of a miracle. To get us in a Champions League final and have a chance, and not get down.
Pochettino didn't win League One with PSG last year.
Yeah.
But, okay. Well, that's
no. Lille has no right winning the league last year.
So Brad,
look, I'm sorry.
Are you Pochettino in at United? Are you Pochettino in at United?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, what he's going to struggle at United too, because it's a lot different to inspire and have tactical advantages, and then you have Mbappe, Messi, Neymar.
Messi last year.
Okay, well, whoever.
Neymar,
Verratti, Donnarumma, whatever his name is.
Didn't have Donnarumma last year either. Come on, bro.
Well, whatever. I don't keep up on that. I don't keep up on
James,
farmers.
What's up, bro?
Speaking of Icardi, I heard there was PSG offered Icardi for Abba, and Arsenal turned it down.
This is my point about Arsenal having an ethos in their transfer plans now, is that Icardi doesn't fit Arsenal's plans, and so they didn't want to sign a player who wasn't going to fit their plans. I respect it.
Yeah, 100%. Because is Icardi a very, very good striker? Could Icardi help the team now? Yes. Is Icardi as big of a headache, if not bigger than Abba? Yes.
And is he going to be on huge? He's going to be on huge wages as well. So
that's what I felt like with Everton. I know we're getting off a little tangent here, but Everton. Remember when Everton signed that really fast right winger? I believe he was Spanish, blonde dude, and it was like a really big splash signing. They signed him from Atletico or something like that.
Are you thinking about James Rodriguez?
No.
I didn't think so.
This was maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And he just didn't work out, and then immediately goes back to Spain. And Everton were just like, whatever. It's threw $50 million on him, and it didn't work out. Because they're just signing him just because he's a big name. It's close to Griezmann, but not like a poor man's Griezmann, a right wing, blonde Spanish dude. Well,
I don't know.
Griezmann's French, but
I don't know. But yeah, that's both my point.
I'll find it because all I got to do is type in Everton record transfers.
Yeah, so I think we'll see this summer if Spurs, will get it turned around. I want to talk about this Wolves Arsenal game.
By the way, their record transfer was Gylfi Sigurdsson.
Who?
Yes.
Everton?
Everton, yes. That was not what I expected to find when I Google searched that.
So I was really impressed with Arsenal in this match. Was very, very scrappy. And so for those of you who didn't watch it, Gabriel Martinelli got sent off at the 68th minute, something like that, maybe 65th minute. He got sent off. He received 2 yellow cards in the span of 10 seconds. So I don't know how much of this you guys watched, but he fouled some guy on a throw-in. The dude was throwing the ball in, and he kind of pushed his arm out to slow him down. The dude got the ball in, and then Gabriel Martinelli chased the dude who received the ball down and shoulder shoved him to the ground. So in the span of 10 seconds, Michael Oliver gave him 2 yellow cards for this and sent him off.
Again?
On the same play. No, this is Gabriel Martinelli, not Gabriel. Not the center back. This is the winger.
Right. No, but I'm saying 2 yellow cards back to back again for Arsenal. I didn't watch the game clearly.
This is a miraculous situation in terms of, have you guys ever seen a situation where a referee plays advantage is intending to give that player a yellow card. That player then commits another foul, and he gets 2 red cards in the same instant.
That sounds like Arsenal.
Right? Arsenal
play.
Arsenal are finding new ways to get sent off. Now, in the course of being on Twitter for the last week and Reddit, like I did see some videos of it happening. But still, it's miraculous. So I think that's Arsenal's 15th red card under Arteta. And it just the narrative continues that Arsenal are ill-disciplined. But that was a huge 3 points for Arsenal. If Arsenal lose that game to Wolves, Wolves would have gone above them, and especially with Wolves then beating Spurs at the weekend, that was a super big win for Arsenal in terms of keeping the momentum and keeping Wolves back. Arsenal have had a great week in terms of results, and only played 1 game. United dropped points, Spurs dropped points, Wolves dropped points, West Ham dropped points. So like super, super good week for Arsenal.
Great week for Southampton.
Yeah, Southampton did have a good week as well. The Spurs win, I think, was more impressive for them than the draw at United. I didn't catch their goal against United, but I think it was a cross, wasn't it? I don't know. I think it was in like the 5th. I don't think it was late. It wasn't super late.
It was 48. No, it was right. It was right for me. No, it was a well worked like couple of passes. I think Che Adams had a really close shot in that went in. They played Man United really well.
Yeah,
like it should have probably been more.
You think?
It was? Yeah, Southampton probably could have won that game.
I mean, that's the way I felt about this this United Brighton game. In the first half, Brighton were all over United, United. And it seemed like United were content to just sit back and let Brighton have the ball, which seems like a strange situation for a Manchester United team. I don't think I've ever seen a Manchester United team that's like, whatever, we'll just sit back and let you have the ball. Manchester United, in my memory, want to be ball dominant and want to like impress their football on you. And that's not what I get out of this Manchester United team. So I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see how United approach this managerial vacancy because, of course, Ralf Rangnick is an interim manager. He's not the permanent manager. And I would imagine, based on the rumblings that we hear from the squad, that they're unhappy and their current run of form and that they haven't been performing well, that I don't think that he is going to be their manager, even if they finish 4th.
Hey, Sean, real quick. On those sheets of integrity, what were the top 4? What were my top 4?
Chelsea, City, Liverpool, United.
Oh, okay.
In that order. We did those in order, by the way.
Yeah.
The relegation, we did not. Relegation, we just picked 3. Top 4 were in order.
Just wondering.
You're going to be wrong about United. United are not going to finish in the top 4.
I don't think so either. 100%. I do not think they are finishing in the top 4. Like I just saw it and I knew that was my pick, so I just needed that shout out.
Found who I was thinking of and was right in all accounts except for the splash. It was because they loaned him and his loan fees or his wages were high because he came from Barcelona.
Who was it?
Gerard Delafeu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah,
I remember this guy.
They were paying a lot of money weekly to have him off Barcelona, and then they I'm looking at it now. They basically they went back to Barcelona, then Everton loaned him again, then it kept bouncing back and forth, and it just didn't work.
I remember that now
because it doesn't fit. He doesn't fit what they do, and
I mean maybe that's why Brian Gill's playing so much better in Spain again.
Yeah, he went back to Spain and he's fucking ripping it up again.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy to me.
Premier League's different. And somebody, it was either Kulusevski or I think it was Kulusevski, said, man, Premier League is a lot different. It's almost like they don't call fouls around here.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's rough. You either got to deal with it or learn to get around it.
So how much did did Tottenham pay for Brian Gill? Do you remember off the top of your head?
25 mil plus homie. Plus,
Eric Lamela.
Lamela.
But he's on loan back to. He's on loan back to Sevilla.
Valencia. He came from Sevilla, but he's back on loan with Valencia.
Do you think that Tottenham, if he has a really good 6 months in Spain, do you think Tottenham will sell him?
That's probably the smart decision, right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't really give him a run either of like see if he can figure it out. He didn't play a lot.
Yeah.
But maybe just in training they just were like, this dude's not close.
I don't think. Yeah.
But
he doesn't have the body frame for it either.
I also wonder if Brian Gill, if he has 6 months really good in Spain, if he looks at this as like, I just don't want to play in England. I'd rather be in Spain. And he's just like, get me back to Spain. That's what I want. Sure. It's better for my development. Blah, 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 blah.
I think it's better for, I forget which nation of origin he is. But I think he's South. Is he Portuguese? I'm pretty sure he's South American. But I think he was Argentinian. No.
He's not Argentinian.
Spanish. He's Spanish.
Yeah, maybe he just wants to be home. Now that I know that, maybe he just wants to be home, and he's better, and the flow of play is better for him and his game style. But the couple times that he was on, you just didn't see the creativity that you see. He's just not as creative in Spain. He's just as creative as you saw in the highlights, or what I saw in the highlights.
You saw that YouTube comp, and you were sold.
Well, not just sold, just the way he moves with his arms. I saw Moussa Dembele of the way he moves with it. No, because Dembele like use his arms like he's like swimming through the air, and like just use his body to be in between the defender and the ball, and that was the hold up play.
Where's Tamzid with the YouTube ruined football?
Yeah. The highlight said Moussa Dembele. The gameplay said Vanderbeek.
Quick, just a couple quick points on the title race. City picked up 6 points over the last week, and Liverpool also picked up 6 points, so they're staying neck and neck with each other. It'll be interesting to see if Chelsea can run. If Liverpool can run City down. I don't have a lot of faith in it. They'll be 6 points behind City. So assuming that Liverpool win their game in hand, and then assuming that Liverpool beats City, they'll be 3 points behind City. And then the question is whether or not they can make up that 3-point gap, whether or not City will drop any points between here and the end. What's that look for, Brad? What's that face for?
I was seeing if they had played each other yet, and they drew once already.
Yeah, they played once. They've yet to. I think they play. Where's their next game? Where's the first game at, Brad? Was it Anfield or City?
Oh, I guess go back up to it.
Brad's our statistics
it was
guy.
Anfield.
Oh, they played at Anfield, so they have to go to Etihad, which I don't.
The Etihad. So
it is what it is. So that'll be interesting to see. I know I saw the Liverpool fans, I think, are cautiously optimistic that it could be done. I'd be interested to see, Jimmy, what your thoughts on this, whether or not you think, assuming Liverpool win their game in hand and they beat City, whether or not Liverpool can make up a 3-point deficit on City. It'll be interesting. I'd love to hear your take on that, Jimmy. So that's the rundown on the championship. If we think about the relegation situation, so Newcastle, of course, picked up their 3rd win in a row. They beat Villa 1-0. I know that Joel had the Everton game and the Villa game kind of circled on the calendar, saying, if we can win those games, things are going to look really good for us. And they got 6 points out of those games. Now, of course, Kieran Trippier did break his foot in that game, in the Villa game. So that will certainly have some implications. And we had a conversation.
It was that bad. It was a broken foot.
Yeah, it was a broken foot.
He's out till next season. Then Easy.
No, it's seen for a couple of weeks.
I think it depends on the type of break in his foot. Now, the four of us, did have a conversation in Discord again about Newcastle's next 5 games. And so Newcastle have coming up West Ham away, Brentford away, Brighton at home, Chelsea at home, and Palace at home. Before Joel found out about the injury, he was cautiously optimistic 9 to 10 points out of those potential 15. I was thinking 8 or so. Brad, you said 7 out of those 5 games. And Jimmy agreed with you, Brad. He thought 7 points.
You get anywhere near 8 or
after
9
the injury.
Yeah, 8 or 9 out of those. You don't have to worry about relegation. You're staying up.
I think before the injury, I think they look at Brentford, Brighton.
Before the injury is what I'm talking about.
I think they look at Brentford and Brighton as definite wins. The Newcastle
could win.
The Newcastle fans.
Brighton's ninth, dude.
I agree with you. That Brighton's 9th, but I think that in their run of form, they're like, look, we can beat Brighton. No, we can beat Brighton.
Palace. I think Palace was their second win.
I think Brighton
was their maybe win.
Really? Okay. Yeah. So the way I gathered, I thought he saw draw at West Ham, beat Brentford, beat Brighton, lose Chelsea, beat Palace. So that's 10 points there.
Yeah, I had Brighton as their draw before.
Yeah.
I had them beating Brentford and Crystal Palace.
Okay.
Assuming Trippier was healthy, and I had Brighton as their draw.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how Newcastle come out of that. If you look at like the Burnleys of the world, Burnley lost to Liverpool. So that's not good.
Hey,
what's up, bro?
If we add in their next game, their 6th game, I think that's a win against Tottenham.
This fucking troll.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah, I mean, probably is. Spurs suck.
So there's their 8 points.
Speaking of Tottenham, I did find a graphic that I did want to bring up.
Okay.
Much aligned players, by the way, given recent form. Eric Dyer, Pierre Højbjerg, and Eric Skip. No, Skip.
Oliver.
Anyway, Skip.
Oliver
Skip. No, it's not Oliver Skip, is it?
Pretty sure it is.
All right, Oliver Skip. So much aligned players.
Yeah.
When Conte plays all 3 of them, we have played 5 games, 0 goals conceded.
Whoa.
When they don't play all 3 of them, we have played 7 games and conceded 13 goals.
Whoa. That's a big difference.
That's enormous. Enormous. So much aligned players though, because Højbjerg, Dyer's been catching flack from Red Card Radio for about since we started.
Yes.
And then Højbjerg has been catching flack for the last. Well, not
from you.
No,
from you. Only from you. I have no beef with Højbjerg.
No, not from me.
It must be Brad then.
But the fans are coming at Højbjerg.
They're smoking
hard the last 3-4 weeks, and I don't get it. That dude's our engine. Like that dude's gotta be here. And then Skip's been catching some flag for a while now too.
Yeah,
but it's funny. Like when they're all in the lineup, we don't concede goals around here.
It'll be interesting. I'm going to turn our attention quickly to the Champions League. So PSG did beat Madrid 1-0 today. That was kind of like the premier game. Yeah, Mbappe 94th minute.
Ronaldo great goal today.
Shades of Thierry Henry in that goal. And then Manchester City was in Portugal.
His hand.
Okay, you can go away. We don't malign the king here. Okay, he was the first inductee into the Premier League Hall of Fame for a reason. He is the king, and he won.
He just happened to use his hand on one of the goals in the Champions League final.
No, it was World Cup qualifying against Ireland, or maybe Northern Ireland. I'm not sure which. I don't remember which. It was World Cup qualifying.
He probably grew up watching highlights of Maradona.
Okay, you can stop now. Thierry Henry is arguably the best player that ever played in the Premier League. And we will have that debate one day, maybe over the summer. But tomorrow we have Inter hosting Liverpool and Salzburg hosting Bayern. I'm really, really intrigued by this Inter-Liverpool game. I'm going to be watching that game. I called dibs on that game. You guys can duke it out over the other one.
Best player to always use his hand.
Salzburg Bayern.
One time.
The German matchup. I gotta watch that one.
Well, Salzburg isn't German.
I know. It was a joke from like 3 podcasts ago. When I thought
Oh
they were
yeah,
German.
God,
When I took Sean's
I was like, well,
geography
yeah,
lesson
okay.
on
Both of
myself.
us at the same time were like, they're not German. Salzburg's in Austria.
And
I know.
also,
I took Sean geography class, and that's why I thought they were in Germany.
there's a rule in the Champions League that you can't have teams from the same country in the round of
Not
16.
in the round of 16. Yeah.
Sean,
Yeah.
tell me about what's going on in the English Championship.
Oh,
What's going on there?
So, this was my idea to have this little segment. So we've been talking about the relegation zone so much. We thought about why not plug in a little of the promotion zone.
Yeah, what's going on?
Get a little championship update here. Not gonna spend a whole lot of time here.
Hold on, Sean.
But I do want to run down.
I have a quick disclaimer. Okay. Loyal listeners of Red Card Radio, the 3 of us have not watched a single championship game this season.
Yes.
We do not watch a championship, so our normally superficial commentary is going to be extra superficial for the championship.
Yes.
Continue.
We have actually no commentary to have on this other than anecdotes and things we have read. So
continue.
Fulham are getting promoted.
For sure.
Mitrovic is on a mission. The dude scored what was it, 31 goals? He's already set the record. There's like 15 games to play. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so Fulham are getting promoted. That's out of here. So second through, I'm going to call the line at 46. So second is at 58 points, which is Bournemouth. And then, what did I say, 10, 11?
You said 46 points.
46 is ninth. So these are the people in contention.
So third to ninth.
Second to ninth.
Oh, second to ninth.
If you were listening to the pod just a second ago, you would have known that. So second to ninth, 58 points to 46. Here we go. We got Bournemouth at 58. We got Blackburn Rovers at 54. We got QPR at 52. Huddersfield at 50. Middlesbrough at 49. Nottingham Forest at 47. Sheffield United at 47. And West Brom at 46. All of these teams have a chance to make it. And for those of you who are loyal Premier League listeners who don't know about the championship, anyone from 3 to 5 have a chance to make it. 3 to 6. I'm sorry, because it is a 4-team playoff for that third promotion area. So if you go from Middlesbrough at 6 at 49, 46, and after 46, I'll throw these in there. Luton Town at 10 at 45, and Preston North End at 45, also at 45. At 11, they all have a chance to sneak in that 6th spot and win that 4-team tournament to make it into the Premier League.
So Sean, who are you pulling for to come up?
Oh, well, first of all, I would like to start with the teams that I do not want to come up.
Okay, that's better.
So let's start with Bournemouth. They got a stupid logo, and they need to be out of here.
I tend to agree about Bournemouth. I'd prefer them not to.
They got a dumbass logo. It looks like a lady showering, and there happens balancing a ball on her head while she's showering.
How does that?
Anyways,
how would you compare that to a chicken standing on a ball?
Well, it's clearly way worse.
Clearly.
Wow, clearly.
Well, clearly, yeah. But QPR out of here. Huddersfield out of here. Their crest looks like a Southern County PD logo.
Okay.
PD being police department.
Okay.
It looks like I grew up in a very rural county, by the way, for those listeners. It looks like New Kent County's patch that goes on the side of their arm. So they're out of here. Middlesbrough, I'm okay. I kind of want Blackburn, Middlesbrough, Nottingham Forest to be in the mix, and Sheffield United. I'm good with Sheffield United. They got swords.
Sorry.
So it's accepted that Fulham are coming up. I think
Fulham are out. Yeah,
right?
yeah. We got one guaranteed promotion, and then we've got the 4-team tournament.
Yeah. So I think let me pull up the.
It's not what you think; it's what you want, because we don't got analysis.
Yeah, so I just had to pull up the table myself. Yeah, Fulham are clearly going up. I think
We're talking logos and history around here.
so who
That's
I
why his history was Nottingham Forest for me.
so who I would like to see come up. Clearly Fulham's coming up. I think I'm taking Blackburn Rovers and either Huddersfield or Preston North End. So I want Bournemouth. I want Blackburn Rovers to beat to eclipse Bournemouth for that second position. I want Fulham and Blackburn to guarantee their promotion, and then I would like to see Preston North End make it into the battle. What's it, the promotion playoffs? Excuse me. Okay. There we go. The promotion playoff, and either Huddersfield and Preston North End to come up. That's who I. That's who.
If we're throwing Hail Marys, I'm throwing Luton Town in it.
So I almost agree with you totally, James. I want Blackburn up too, and Bournemouth. Bournemouth can stay down. Huddersfield. I'm a big. I like Huddersfield. I think they deserve to get the playoffs.
Local PD. Local police department.
They got a nice Chelsea loanee there that's going to help get them up higher.
Okay.
And you know what? Nottingham Forest has proven that they can beat Premier League teams.
True. They also have a Chelsea loan.
No,
but Nottingham Forest beat United and beat Arsenal. So
Leicester.
I'm for Nottingham Forest. Leicester.
They beat Arsenal and Leicester. Middlesbrough beat United.
Middlesbrough beat United.
That's what it was. Okay. I'm still in for Nottingham Forest. You know, there should be another club close to London with a European trophy.
So in about a week, in about a month, we'll come back to the championship. If you are an English football fan and you know anything about English football, or you just want to tell us who you want to come up into the Premier League next year, hit us up either on the comments on YouTube or on Discord, and we'll have that conversation. And
if you think this part of the podcast sucks, tell me that my idea was really dumb because this was my idea and I came up with it. That's why I let it. So.
Still give us that 5-star review.
True. Yeah, for sure.
You don't want to be mildly inconvenienced by a plumber not showing up for 3 days in Brazil.
Yeah, so. and get your wife to watch it too. Quickly, let's run down what's going on this weekend and next. So in the Premier League, we got match week 26 coming up. Kicking up on Saturday, we got West Ham United hosting Newcastle. Arsenal are hosting Brentford, Villa hosting Watford, Brighton hosting Burnley, Palace hosting Chelsea, Liverpool hosting Norwich, Southampton hosting Everton, and City are hosting Spurs. On Sunday, we've got Leeds hosting United and Wolves hosting Leicester. Sean, how many goals are Manchester City going to score against Tottenham?
5.
Okay. Put it down, write it in the books. We will get back to this next week. Brad, what are you looking forward to this weekend?
In the first half.
In the first half.
Them putting 4 goals past Spurs. I think it's going to be 4 because for the 4th loss. No, I think Southampton, Everton.
Yeah.
My boy Frankie, he's got him on the right track in the league. So I want to see that continue. Van de Beek gets brought in more. I don't Dele left or right, but Dominic Calvert-Lewin getting some minutes. So that's where I'm at. And Broja is a beast. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for him to come back to Chelsea. The Southampton striker is an absolute monster.
That's that 20. That's my pick. He's like the 20-year-old, right?
Yeah, that's just been dominating for them.
It came up on the Twitter, Twitter sphere that Arsenal are apparently interested in him. So we'll see what happens there. I doubt that Chelsea would sell to Arsenal.
No,
not for a reasonable price.
We might sell him to. Apparently, Southampton want him, and Southampton is more than willing to do a buyback clause like they did with Livramento. So
yeah,
I'm not happy, but I'm okay as long as there's a buyback clause.
Arsenal would not do that.
I know.
So I think what I'm interested in, the game that I'm interested in the most in beyond the Arsenal Brentford game, is the Wolves Leicester game. I'll be interested to see, where Leicester are at, whether or not they can get up for that game. Because in all honesty, Leicester aren't playing for much this season. They've got only the Premier League left, and I think they're kind of dead in the Premier League they could sneak into a Europa League spot or a Conference League spot, but I think that's a huge long shot. So I think they're kind of dead, whether or not they are going to be able to get up for this match against Wolves. If I had to pick a game, because that's something that I do, What would I pick? All right, I have a choice. Do you guys have any suggestions?
As far as bottom half clubs, is James's pick of the league? James, what are you going with your pick of the league? Are you going with
I have
not to watch?
I have a choice of what the James's pick of the week can be anything. It can be a really dumpster fire game, games that have relegation significance. I think dumpster fire though I think dumpster fire plus relegation importance is what we're going after.
So we're looking at Liverpool, Norwich.
No, Liverpool's that's not going to be fun to watch because Liverpool's going to smash them. I'm picking James's pick of the week. You heard it here first. The game that James is absolutely, most definitely going to watch. Wink, wink. Is Brighton and Burnley, because you guys know how much I dislike Brighton, and Burnley are not good. So that's James's pick of the week. I'm writing it down so I don't forget it. Sean, anything you're interested in this weekend? I doubt it.
No.
Yeah, I figured. Quickly and
I just want to also point out to Tottenham Twitter that suggested that putting Sessegnon at right back, having Eric Dyer healthy, and putting Rodon in the back three would all of a sudden magically be able to smash City.
Yeah.
I just would like you to rewatch the Champions League game today. Everyone who thought that's what was going to happen by replacing 3 of the 11.
Yeah, I just want
you to rewatch that game.
I don't see a way for Spurs to get anything out of this game. But Liverpool fans are hoping that Spurs do the league double over City this year. That would be something else. If Spurs win that game, that would be something else.
Aren't Spurs like City's City's Crystal Palace for Spurs?
I don't know. Yeah. I wouldn't go that far.
Struggled against Spurs.
We beat City a lot. I mean, when they beat us, it gets rough. But for the most part, like the first half, they struggle to get going, and if they don't, then we either win or it's a non-result. But if they get going, then it's like a 3-4-0.
Yeah. I don't want to.
Which is probably like not analysis for Spurs. That's probably analysis for every fucking game that they play. Now that once I said it out loud, I was like, game.
Quickly, just to give you guys what's happening in the Champions League as well next week. Of course, tomorrow we've got the Inter Liverpool Salzburg Bayern. I'm right there with you.
Oh, Champions League was that tournament we were talking about with the championship.
Yeah.
The four team to see who gets the third promotion spot.
Yeah, something like that. But next Tuesday we got Villarreal hosting Juventus. Will give us your thoughts on what's going to happen in that game, and then Chelsea hosting Lille, and then on Wednesday Manchester United Champions League. They are in the Champions League. They're playing next week in Madrid at Atletico, and then Benfica are hosting Ajax on Wednesday. So yeah, that's those are the games. Those are the games we got coming up.
Hey James,
that's the game I want to put on the watch list.
Hey James, out of those 8, who do you think is coming up to the Premier League next year?
Definitely not Chelsea.
Benfica.
Tin Pot Club. That's all we got for you guys tonight. If you're still listening, we really appreciate that you guys stuck it out with us. And we hope you'll tune back in next week. Of course, we would love it if you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave us a comment about this podcast and tell us what you're thinking, so that we can talk about it next week. As always, you can find us on Twitter. That man over there, that's at KSBradG. Down below us is Whiteheart_Sean. He is here to beef with you if you are a Spurs supporter. Sean's coming for you. And I am at James Tiffany. At James Tiffany on Twitter. We collectively are at redcard_radio. So hit us up. Let us know what's going on, what you're thinking. And until next time, we'll see you. Have a good evening.